Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K. I have a very fun paper craft project to share with you guys, and it is a loaded tag caddy that I created for a swap on Loaded Envelope and Glow More. It's a Facebook group, and the swap is being hosted by Michelle Randolph, and she is the one that I learned how to create this little project from. She does have a very wonderful tutorial on how to create this project on her channel on YouTube. So I will link that below in the description box. You guys can go and check it out. I did vary a little bit from her tutorial in that in her tutorial she used a cutting file for her Cricut to create the tags. And instead of using that cutting file, I chose to use some cutting dies that I had in my stash from Diamond Dies to create my tags and the layers on them. And with that, I did have to change my measurements just slightly for the box that she had. I had to make my box just a little bit wider than her original box that she created. Otherwise, mine is very similar to hers, just decorated different. And so before I get going on it, I will share with you guys the paper that I used for this project. It is called Lilac Love, and it's from DCWV. It is a paper that I purchased from Joann's off of the clearance rack. And I really do love this paper collection. It is kind of a deep purple color. And then there is some copper foiling on some of the papers. And I also really love this paper because it did have, and I don't know if I've used them all now, they did have a little sheet of little sentiments and different things that I could use for this paper project. So that's why I went ahead with this one. So here is the actual caddy part, and then I will go ahead and show you guys the tags that I created in a minute here. So you can kind of see the sides and the front. I did choose to paint a couple of beads that I had in my stash. I did put my little signature down here. I did paint some beads in my stash purple to match the best I could. I did hang around on the sides some little heart trim that I had in my stash, along with some teardrop trim at the top and the bottoms. And I chose on the front to decorate it, and then I add this little sentiment from the paper collection that says collect moments, not things. And I went ahead and added some little brads right here, and then also some flowers from my stash. And then I went ahead and on the back side here, you can see one paper layer. I started with some copper paper from my stash, and then this purple paper is of course from the paper collection. And then on top of there, I put a purple flower with a couple different ribbons behind it just to hang down. Off of the side, I did add a little copper binder clip, and then I hung a pen off of it for my swap partner. And this pen does write purple, which is why I chose it. I thought that was kind of fun just to match the paper a little bit. And then off of the little binder clip, I did go ahead and add just some little ribbons, and then I glued a little purple flower on top of those just to add a little bit of an embellishment to the little binder clip there. And then on the back side of this, I went ahead and again layered a piece from the paper collection that said Hello Gorgeous on there. And you can see there's another piece of purple cardstock behind that. Then I have some of my copper paper, some of the paper from the paper collection, and then the big tag in the background, which is copper. And then to jazz it up a little bit, I put a little small flower cluster down here, up here, and then again at the very top of the tag caddy here. And you can kind of see the bow showing through the background, which I kind of like that a little bit. So I do like how that turned out. And so that was the back side of my caddy. So then this caddy gets loaded with tags. And I believe for the swap we were supposed to create, I think it was 4 tags, but I did 5 that fit inside of here. And I'll just, they fit inside like this, and I'll show you guys my tags here. So a couple of these we were just supposed to do kind of blank and just leave them with photo mats, so our swap partner could go ahead and add either photos to them, or they could go ahead and add sentiments to them. And so here are my 2 that were required for the swap for the photo mats on them. And there's several layers. I also cut out a bow, and then I layered some ribbon behind there. And then this is a little necklace piece that I cut apart, and I got that little necklace from Slim Cards, Shonda here on YouTube. And I just thought that that little gem piece in the middle there just matched this perfectly. So those are my basic photo mat cards. And then I also layered on the back side one piece of paper. I'm not sure if whoever gets this is going to want to put anything on the back side or not, just because I'm not sure if things will rub or not. But there is the possibility of being able to add a picture to the back side too if you want on those two. And then I decorated 2 tags that had sentiments from the paper collection. This paper collection did have a lot of fun little sentiments. And so this is the first one, and it says, "Whatever you are, be a good one." And I did several layers of paper from the paper collection and cardstock from my stash. At the bottom, I did layer a little bit of teardrop trim. This is the same trim that I used along the outside of the caddy. And then at the top, I layered a seam binding bow with just some basic purple ribbon. And then a couple flowers up at the top. I think that turned out really lovely. And then again on the back side, I just went ahead and layered one more piece of the paper collection on this one. And so that's the back side of that one. And then here's the other little sentiment tag that I created. Again, very similar to the previous one, just a little different sentiment. This one happens to say, "Believe in yourself and you will be unstoppable." I think that's a wonderful sentiment. Again, the same teardrop trim, the same layers, and very similar flower cluster up at the top with the ribbons on that one and the seam binding. And then if you guys watch Michelle's tutorial, she does create a little calendar that you could put on a tag, and then also a little paper pad. And so I did kind of do similar to hers, but what I ended up doing is on this tag, I just created a pocket on this tag. And it says, "Make today count." And then there's some layers behind there, and I added the teardrop trim, and then the same bow up at the top with the little gem piece that I got from Shonda. And what I thought was the recipient who got my swap piece, if they wanted to, they could add a photo mat in here or a couple photos in the pocket if they wanted to. There is that possibility. And on the back side, I just have a piece of the paper collection on there, just layered up. But inside the pocket, I did go ahead and add the leftover pieces that I had from the paper collection with the sentiments. So you could do this kind of as a little journaling spot if you wanted to go with some of your photos. It says favorite memories. This one says say yes to new adventures. So you can write a couple things there if you want to. This one just says notes. And the rest are all little leftover sentiments that if the person who does get this does not want to use it for photo mats, they could go ahead and cut out these pieces and add them to the photo mats here. So this one says have courage and be kind. This one says she's a dreamer. This one says you got this. And this one says shake it off. So I did add those inside the pocket. And then I have this cute little Prima paper clip that I had in my stash that I just added because it was purple. It kind of matched what I was doing. And then in Michelle's tutorial, she does tell you how to put together a little notebook similar to this. Hers was longer, and I made mine just a little bit shorter because I did figure you could, if you wanted to, just hang it over the pocket. So that's what I went ahead and did. So I created this using paper from the paper collection and went ahead and added a little bow from the paper collection that I made, and then a little flower in the middle. So that was kind of my little pocket tag. And then one last requirement for this swap was just to create some bow embellishments. And so these are kind of just some basic bow embellishments that I created using a cutting die for my stash. And then I just went ahead and added a big flat back pearl on them. You can kind of see it better right here. I think we were supposed to include 4 bow embellishments, but I did create 6, and then I added a cute little bag topper and decorated the bag topper. So again, here are all of my finished tags for the swap. I hope you guys enjoyed my little project share today. I know I had a lot of fun creating this. It was a pretty easy project to do and really fun to add the extra little elements, the flowers and the different layers and stuff to make it stand out just a little bit more. I was able to pretty much put this whole project together in a day, other than I had to paint the legs, the beads. So that took me a couple of days just because I had to paint and then let stuff dry. But other than that, it was a pretty easy project to put together and decorate. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm pretty sure I will be creating a few more of these. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Again, I will link Michelle's channel below in the description box. You can go and check out her tutorial and her channel. Again, she does have a wonderful channel. And if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will get back to you with any questions that you have. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and happy crafting.